Janelle Stuckatelny.
My name is Carly Schramm.
My name is Catherine Van Reyden.
My name is Derek Bentley.
My name is Bethany Berard.
My name is Susie Fisher-Stace, and I am a doctoral student in the Department of History at the University of Manitoba, and I was a co-instructor in the Bordeaux Field School program this summer.
One of the things on my university bucket list was to do a semester abroad, and I decided that I liked the idea of doing the field school where I was with colleagues from the University of Winnipeg and I could study with them and maintain those connections when I returned.
I thought this would be a good opportunity. It's something to put on my CV. Study abroad programs are enthusiastically looked upon by grad selection committees.
I think for me it was really important because it was affordable and a way to spend 4 weeks in Europe while also studying. So it wasn't just a vacation where I toured around, but it was a way for me to focus why I was there.
The experiential component provided a kind of educational experience that would not have otherwise been part of my undergraduate degree had I not gone to Bordeaux. Having to go to actual field sites and having the experience of being there, then translating that into the more academic part, I think is very beneficial, especially because I want to go on and pursue graduate studies and do my own research, and particularly maybe in ethnography, so I thought that was a great way to sort of get introduced to that kind of learning.
I really felt like the experiential component of the Bordeaux program expanded on a lot of the things that I'd been studying in my degree, and for the first time when I got to France, I felt like, okay, I get it, I understand what I've been studying. It really brought it to life for me.
On an academic level, I felt that it opened my mind to all sorts of different ways of learning. I felt like I took a philosophy class while I was taking a religion class. It felt like I was learning academic writing while I was also doing some sort of service learning trip. I liked how no matter what field you came from, whether it was science or humanities, there was a project for everyone.
Experiential learning is important because it helps students and instructors focus on the everyday. And I think having students in the field and teaching in the field helped us see the importance of the everyday in shaping religious identity and ethnicity.
The experiential component was integral to pursuing this field of study because we can read about different kinds of secularism, but to actually experience it and see how that kind of translates to real world, everyday parts of life is really interesting, and I think that you learn more about theories of being in the world when you actually see that in practice.
Experiencing religion in Bordeaux, I think it's kind of comparing, can you understand multiculturalism in Canada without living here? So I think it just gave me a better understanding of what religion was by being there.
Studying religion from a historical standpoint and seeing how that weaves into the future and how that's affecting politics now. Being in France was so interesting to have that experience, being somewhere where that history has already come to life and has already come into the modern context and shifted it into a way that's so different from Canada because we're so multicultural here.
I think the greatest thing that I took from my experience in Bordeaux was seeing the way that religion can shape a people and a country. It's not something I feel I've had such first-hand experience with in Canada. And so to see how religion has shaped France and to take that home with me has been extremely beneficial as a student and as a person, and has really changed the lens in which I see the world and see my own society.
I was particularly struck by visiting Saint-Emilion and the cave church there, the monolithic church, and the other church built in the region, and seeing all the different types of monasteries that were built up, and just exploring the relationship between myth and fact and how that sort of built up a religious tradition and sentiment in the area.
I think one that stands out is visiting Lourdes. We got to see it during the day, but we also got to see the Pilgrim's Walk at night, which was really cool to see something that you can read about, and we had a whole text on it, but to see what you read about in practice was really neat.
That crazy miracle of seeing Tutankhamun was unreal. I had studied him last year. He was in our textbook. I had read some things that he had dictated and written, and seeing him in person, having him lecture on the most basic elements of Buddhism was so surreal.
As somebody who engages in ethnographic research, I would strongly recommend that students sign up for the Bordeaux Field School program. It's very exciting to be able to open up your textual readings in the context of site visits and everyday life. So, for example, having a student presentation on the Notre Dame Cathedral while sitting in the Notre Dame Gardens, or sitting in Marie Antoinette's gardens while learning about Versailles, or hearing Thich Nhat Hanh speak after having just heard a presentation on his central role to Vietnamese Buddhism in the world is quite fascinating.
I would definitely recommend going to Bordeaux on a field school. It was a very cool opportunity to experience and live some of the things that we had been studying, and also to really make strong connections with other students at the university.
In the end, I really don't think I can explain to anybody how incredible the experience was. So all I have to say is, if you have a chance to go on the program, just do it, because you really won't regret it.